Good morning. A little something different. We're on the Glennallen highway today because there's fires on the Parks highway, and so they're blocking, well, not blocking traffic, but they're stopping traffic, and they have like an hour and a half, 2-hour delays. So we've been going up the Glennallen highway to Delta Junction and then going to Fairbanks that way. So yeah, that's what we're going to do here. I just stopped here in Sutton, Alaska to get fuel. Since I'm not going through Wasilla to get in. Great. Here comes somebody coming around that corner behind me. It's a blind corner, you can't see. It's a good place for an accident. Never stopped there before. I don't like that. There's a lot of traffic today because the weather's nice. It's a beautiful drive through here. Unfortunately, you get a lot of tourists, a lot of people in cars and motorcycles who drive a little too crazy through here. Careful. I saw a state trooper with somebody pulled over back there before I stopped. And it's 45 through here. I'm slowing down to 45 and this guy behind me is about to hit the back of my trailer. He's not happy with that. He'll just have to live with it till he can get around me. I don't speed through these little towns. I don't care if they have cops or not. It's just, you know, a respect thing. I don't go blowing through people's towns. I don't like it when people do it in the little town I live in. You know, we got people who have kids who live on the main street and all that. There's no reason for it. That was it. That was Sutton. So yeah, so the fires have really got us screwed up, man. This is about, I don't know, 60 miles further. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider how long it takes to make 60 miles on some of these roads. It takes some time. It's a beautiful drive though, really, really nice in the winter. But it's nice in the summer. We got some glaciers out here. Bit of a twisting, turning road, but it's not bad. You just have to watch yourself and watch out for other people. See, there's a river to our right there. couple of motorcycles behind me now. I'm going well fast enough for this road. But, you know, they want to do 80 on it. These guys on these bikes, and I have a bike at home, but, you know, I try to be responsible on it. Some of these guys on these bikes, they always want you to watch out for motorcycles, but the way they ride, man, you know, they're their own worst enemy. Here comes a passing lane, they can go flying around me. They think every road is their personal track, their personal racetrack, and it's not. You know, we all have to share it, man. But they're only up here for a couple of months. And as soon as it starts getting cold, they'll be gone. They can't handle a little bit of cold weather. Same thing with the rest of the tourists. I won't call them terrorists because some people get upset about that. Actually, I don't call them terrorists down here anyway. You know, I expect tourists down here. It's up on the Hall Road where, you know, you want to call them terrorists. Not all of them, just certain ones. Nice thing about up here is there's not really any fences. You can just pull off and camp wherever. Goes to crap, or it gets pretty primitive. Kind of reminds you of West Virginia through here. Going back to the tourists, the motorcyclists and all that, I don't have a problem with them being up here, zipping around. Just Don't get too close to the back of my trailer. That's the ones that irritate me. They get too close to the back of your trailer. You know, leave a little space. That's my thing. I guess that's the one thing that irritates me about any of them. That or the ones who pass you up and then you run back into them a few miles down the road and they're crawling down the highway because they come up on a couple of sharp curves and they're like, oh, I didn't realize this road was this curvy. Well, yeah, it is. It's pretty bad, man. A lot of curves in it. A lot of curves. So, I know I sound harsh to some people when I critique not just tourists and motorcyclists, but anyone. But man, I've been doing this over 30 years, and I've seen people do some really stupid things because they're either in too big of a hurry, or they don't know the road, or they're just stupid. Sometimes a little bit of all of it. And after a while, you get a little jaded to it, and you get to the point where you just don't like people. I don't like being that way, but that's the way I end up being. And the summertime up here is really when you gotta have patience, because that's when there's a lot of people up here. Whereas in the wintertime, like I said, as soon as it starts getting cold or snowing, boom, they're gone. With the exception of the locals. You know, that's about it. The locals and the trucks. We deal with this year-round with these roads. Even though I technically live in Texas, I'm up here in the winter and the summer. Although I don't know if I'm going to be up here next winter. I don't know. I may not. I've been up here over a year or better. Up here 2 years. It's been 2 winters up here. The Alcan's the same way, you know. In the wintertime, the Alcan is dead. All the way down, probably to once you get to the other side of well, once you get over toward Fort St. John, that stays fairly busy year-round. West of that and up toward Alaska, it's pretty much dead, man. There's nothing but trucks on it. So it's pretty quiet. And that's what makes it hard, too, because you have that solitude in the winter up here and down that way, especially up going to Prudhoe, man. Once you get north of Fairbanks, there's no one but trucks in the winter. And then spring and summer comes and boom, you got all these people. And it'll play on your nerves, man. It really will. It'll play on your nerves. So if I sound a bit harsh, I don't mean to. Miles to Chickaloo. There's a camper van way up there. He seems to be doing alright though. I haven't caught up to him yet. Excuse me. But anyway, I thought this would be a nice change from always doing the haul road or the parks. Pardon me. I came down this way Saturday morning coming back, but I didn't video it, man. I was tired and I was in a real foul mood. It was a bad week last week, so I just decided to not film it. And it was 4th of July weekend, and it was packed with people. Not so much across here, but further down toward Glennallen and such, it was full of people. The Richardson Highway, which is the road between Fairbanks and Delta Junction. That's the road that links Fairbanks with the Alaska Highway. See, this through here reminds me of West Virginia. These 30-mile-an-hour curves and trees and grass, everything being so green. Western Maryland or someplace like that. Western Tennessee or Western Pennsylvania. I made a trip out there last year. I got some video of it from Palmer, Alaska, all the way down there to the DC area, Northern Virginia. That was a heck of a trip. Basically from one end of the continent to the other. Because we got 35-mile-an-hour curves and it's downhill. Whoa! Oh, get off the road, man. He's not even paying attention. He's looking at the scenery. Not even paying attention that I'm coming and he's standing on the road. That's what's irritating. It is beautiful scenery through here. I don't blame people for, wanting to stop and look at it. Windshield, the bugs are out. That's another thing you don't have to worry about in the winter is the bugs. The bugs disappear as well. sharp curves on this road. Be pulling a set. Of course, I've done it going down to Kenai, and there's some pretty tight curves and narrow spots on that road as well. Because of the fires on the parks. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's trying to get around those. What's kind of spooky is this road. I don't know if you can see it. It's cracked there on the right side of the lane, and so you drop off. You feel like you're about to fall over. So it feels like you're about to fall over off the side of the cliff there. That's the way it makes you lean. It's kind of spooky. Like that one right there, that's real bad. to take both lanes there like that, you're going too fast. I mean, yeah, sometimes I have to take both lanes just because the road is too narrow. Sometimes my trailer's in a different lane than my truck. But if you're in a car or an SUV and you're continuously crossing over into the other lane like that one is, that means you're going too fast. But that's fine. It's not my circus, nor is it my monkeys. Well, I guess it would be if they get in a wreck in front of me and block the highway. And we just passed the 2 motorcycles that passed me back there. Most of these people don't go very far until they stop at a pullout or some scenic area. Now we got 25 mile-an-hour curves and a downhill grade. Drops off real bad right there. This is really, really narrow. Almost inside the curves. This is where you can't let people rush you. If you're a new driver, I'm telling you right now, you got somebody back there on your back doors because they want to zip through here some stupid speed. Somebody in a car or motorcycle or something. You cannot let them rush you. You got to do your thing. You're a lot heavier and a lot bigger than they are. If they don't like it, well, they should stay off this road. You know. See, like right back there, my back tires are on the dirt. You know, it's narrow. And after the dirt is the water. And I'm not dropping off into that lake. This is not a difficult road to drive. You just got to keep your wits about you. Respect to those guys who pull doubles on this road. Much respect. dip is kind of spooky right there, considering it's probably 1,000 foot down there and there's no guardrail or anything. Alaska. Huh. Never heard of them. Plates. That's a long way from home. Especially up toward Fairbanks, where they're still having a lot of fires. I say that as Central Texas gets flooded. That's just terrible. That's really, really bad. Kind of wish I was home. I mean, I live in the Panhandle. I live a long way, but I don't know if there's anything I could have done to help, but you hear about things like that happening, you know, you want to help. do. Pretty much the end of the narrow roads, I think. If we get off of this, it flattens out a bit. Motorcycles back there again. Haul ass and stop. Haul ass and stop. That's tourist season in Alaska. People feel they have to hurry up and get in all the scenery before summertime is over. Below the speed limit, man. You just passed me back there. Not this guy, the other one. Now see, this is what's irritating. Those bikes are so close to me, I didn't see them until we went around that little curve. That's how close they are to me. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what, you do whatever you want to do on this road, but there's no reason to be tailgating me, especially if I'm doing at or above the speed limit. That goes for anyone. That goes for another truck or anyone, really. Go around you and then they stop, and then you got to deal with them again later. That's what's irritating. It's like, if you're going that fast, if you're in that big of a hurry, keep going. Go to whatever your final destination is. was loaded, so I had a chance to get around them. I went around them, and then I realized I had to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, no, I'm not stopping. I'm just going to have to hold it and wait. I'm not going to pass this guy, go 5 miles down the road, and then pull off. Go to the bathroom real quick, and then have to jump in, and then next thing you know, I'm back on his back doors again. You know, I don't want to be that guy. So I waited. But you know, when you're over 50 and you got a prostate, you have to calculate those things. Okay, I can pass this guy. Let's see, do I have to go pee first? No, I'm good. All right, let me go on around him. And this guy's going to pull right out in this camper. Thank you for that. Thank you. And turn left in front of me. Well, at least he did it quick. Couldn't wait for me to go past him, though. This is a good road through here. It's 65, I think, speed limit all the way to Glennallen. Anyway, nothing more exciting, well, nothing exciting, period, going on. Which is, I always say, that's a good thing. A boring trip is a good trip. We'll go ahead and end this video, I guess. Excuse my ranting and raving about tourists and such. I don't mean to sound mean. Anyway, anybody's been driving a truck for a number of years, they go through a lot of these areas where there's a lot of tourists, especially in the summer. They'll understand. Not just truck drivers, people, locals, you know, I'm sure they get irritated as well. It brings money in, don't get me wrong, and that's a good thing. Not so much on the haul road. There's not really much money they can spend on the haul road. But, you know, down here, you know, there's places where they can spend money. And that's a good thing. So I'll end the video by saying, yay, tourist. I don't know if I want to go that far. Now wait a minute, is this that car that just passed me back there? Is that them? No, that's somebody different, okay. Yeah, some different people. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. A like and a subscribe would be great. I promise I'm usually in a better mood than I am today. I'm not in a bad mood today, I'm just, I don't know, it's just life, man. You know, I had some minor issues earlier today, but they got dealt with, actually, and yeah. So, I'm going to try to make it a better day. That's what we should all do. So thanks for watching. A like and a subscribe would be great, and I'll see you later.